Alright, hey everyone, Andang here for another LOTRO leveling stream. Tonight, we are hopefully going to make it to level 104, meaning that this is the second to last, hopefully, stream that we will be doing before Mordor for at least the Minstrel. So, we're getting very close to 105, which is exciting. We have our different quests that we need to be doing, like collecting roots and all sorts of stuff all throughout North Ithilien. And Hobbit Feet Fanatic, welcome to the chat, nice to have you here. And so that's the goal tonight, is to get to 104, and hopefully it'll happen. We'll just see. I will almost certainly be streaming again on Saturday at around 4 Eastern. So that will hopefully be the stream that'll get me to cap, I'm really hoping. And this quest is kind of annoying because you have to go around and collect all these different things. But I do like the whole Haradrim surrendering and all that stuff. It was a really cool plotline. There's a lot of cool plotlines in this area. The collection quest for these roots, though, is not very fun for me, at least. That's just a rose. I think they're all definitely inside this area. Yeah. Stefan, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. Zoe, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here as well. Okay, so I'm trying to remember where all these different root things are. Obviously not here. Looks like they're over and up. Okay. And this is the part where you wish that you were a hunter, because you have to be searching forever. Alright. If I remember right... Oh, no, it looks like it's even across the way here. That's really weird. I don't remember that being the case. Oh, that was it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, maybe it wasn't this one that was so hard, though. I remembered there being something inside there that was really annoying. Alright, come on. Let's find the right one. Open our Hobbit gift for the day. Yay, a massive pile of copper scraps. That's so great. Sarcasm. Alright. I feel like they need to add new things to the Hobbit presents. It's been a long time where we just been getting the same stuff. I feel like they need to change it out every year or so so that we get something different. I mean, stuff like marks and things like that are always cool, but some of the other stuff like run speed boosts, we got millions of them. The sheer drop rate of run speed boosts is probably undercutting their run speed boost sales in the store, I would guess. And yeah, getting very close to the Black Gate, Zoe, that's true. Yep, this is my third character to be going through this area. If you count my lore master, they only did the epic story through this area, but I count them. Okay, everything is now way to the north. Across the river, I believe. Yep. But yeah, just 18 days, I believe, till Mordor, so that's exciting. And tomorrow it should be 17, so not long at all. Okay. If I remember right, there's one back in here. Maybe even more than one. Okay, just 2 more. Oh, it was on the other side of the river, so we didn't even need to go all the way around. Okay. Yes, the freshest part of the river. Maybe we're supposed to do that 4 times at the same one? Yeah, apparently we're supposed to do that 4 times here, okay. Cool, finish that one. Now we just have the final mare routes over there, and then we'll be good to go. And yeah, beta build 4 is tomorrow. That's exciting as well. I hope that there's something major new in the beta, like something finalized or close to final. So like the final character skins, or like final polish on stuff, you know, something that's final that is hopefully really cool. And Peyton, welcome to chat. Nice to have you here. And if you want to join me in game, I am on Dangsong, D-A-N-G-S-O-N-G, on the Landerville server. Okay, yeah, I don't think there's anything on this side now. Okay, I remembered that being much harder. Maybe they've since changed it, but... Or I'm just thinking of a different later on quest or something. But I remembered taking forever to figure out where stuff was. Or maybe I just was not paying close enough attention before, I don't know. Okay. I'm really looking forward to getting to Hinneth at noon again. Alright, Zoe says, have you made your final decision on the pre-order, or will you have buyer's remorse? Well, I've made my final decision, barring any extreme changes. I'm definitely gonna do the standard edition, unless there is just some major change that happens, which, based on the stream today, it doesn't sound like that's gonna be happening. So I'm just gonna get the standard edition. And I'm kind of getting over it. Because here's the thing, I'd be more than happy to give them $130 if I felt it was worth it. But most of the stuff that was offered, except for like the cosmetics, I really didn't want. So that makes it not worth my $130. So, and I can't support a practice in an expansion bundle where if you don't like one thing, or 2 things maybe in some cases, then the overall price doesn't add up to the overall total. I feel like that it's just a lot worse deal, and so I can't really support it personally. But I completely respect anybody who buys the top edition. That's awesome.
Be wary, my
I didn't
friends.
like it when people
Evil
criticized me
spoils
for getting the
these
top
grounds.
edition when I did in the past, and so I'm definitely not going to do that for anybody else. I hope you thoroughly enjoy it, because that's the whole point of a game, is to have fun and enjoy it. So absolutely in no way trying to influence anybody's decisions. The whole purpose of that video was just to lay out what I considered the facts as to how things were priced and what versions and the inherent value that's there. And Panda Mommy, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. Where is this last guy? Question the hair trim. Oh, I think that's the quest that we have to do. Hit the ranges about as much as you're able when you're ready along the roadside to the north. Find that in the wilds to the north. And plant banners. Which is down there and up there. So I guess we're going to do those two things. Nice, getting the ultimate. That's awesome. Yeah, I think if I hadn't purchased the top edition of every single expansion, I might have actually been more likely to buy the top one this time just because some of those cosmetics look really cool. But I've just got so many cosmetics from all the previous expansions that it just didn't seem worth it to me. Panda Mommy says, I like your hair. Well, thank you very much. I actually didn't do what I normally do to it today. I kind of just showered and didn't put gel in it today. So this is the ungelled hair of Andang. Alright, Zach, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. And Zach says, I want the Mordor cosmetics so much, yet I don't want to spend $130 for it. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. But yeah, especially that Mordor steed looks amazing. And these banners are really cool. In my series, when I did this the first time, I was like, well, we're either putting giant arrows for them to come and find this camp, or we're telling them to turn around. Hopefully these are telling them to turn around, but we don't really know if they're lying to us or not, so. And yeah, it is fluffy. There's the banner location. I didn't walk quite far enough. Zoe says, I joined LOTRO in 2014, so I missed out on all previous biggest expansions. Oh, well, definitely take advantage of it then as your first expansion. That's awesome. Stefan says, all the extra stuff will likely hit the store at a later time. Not true. The exclusive cosmetics and things like that have never hit the store. I think the only things that are going to be hitting the store are the expansion itself, the High Elf, and the new Gift of the Valor thing. I think those are the only 3 new things that are actually going to be in the store at a later date. And that's normal for LOTRO expansions. Because, as far as I know, you can't get any of the Riders of Rohan, Rise of Isengard, or Helm's Deep pre-order cosmetics. Or any of the other expansions before that, for that matter. Although Mirkwood and Moria are definitely different beasts. They're from a different time in LOTRO's history, so I don't count them in as how to calculate for what will happen later as much as I do the other ones. Pow, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. And why you shave your stubble? Looked great. See, I've been told mixed things. Some people like it, some people don't. I kind of just let it grow out and then cut it every now and then. So that's what goes on. And Florence, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. And there was a Thursday LOTRO live stream where they said that. Yep, I watched the live stream and that's where I got it from. So. And Zoe, I don't think that the Walked into Mordor is a pre-order quest, but I do think that there is a quest called like Walked into Mordor or something like that. But it doesn't give you the title. That's only if you pre-order, so I could be misremembering that, but I think that that is the case. Okay, now we know, yeah, if I can speak. Now we need to go clear to the north here. and take care of all of that stuff. But North Athelion is such a beautiful zone. I really, really like this area. It's that nice breath of fresh air between the dawnless day that took place at everything through like most of Gondor and the dawnless day essentially, or the darkness of Mordor that will be coming up. So kind of a nice breath of fresh air. And Nick, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. And thanks for watching the stream. I would not be streaming if people didn't watch. I might still be streaming if people didn't watch, but I would not be as happy and engaged to the chat as I am right now. Okay, apparently the opinion of the chat is for me to shave. I was joking with my sister, Sprydra, that maybe I should grow a goatee for Mordor, and so at one point today I had a goatee, but that got shaved off because it looked really weird. We came to a consensus that it looked really weird. And I don't know why I shared that, but there you go. That is a thing. Alright. I mean, just being able to look like over this hill and see everything and, get attacked by mountain lions is pretty cool. I really like this area. And yeah, goatees are lame. I agree. And they did... Whoa, no. I think we just died. Wow, we survived that. Okay. And thanks, Panda Mommy. Yeah, Sprite is pretty cool. I will pass that along. Stefan says, just don't shave for 40-ish years and grow the Gandalf beard. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Zoe says, would you also wear an eye patch with the goatee and become evil, Andang? Of course, that's what goes with it. You can't just, suddenly start wearing a goatee and not get an eye patch. I mean, that's just part of what goes on. Oh yeah, this is the finding the Mama Kill one. Loku Aki, as they say. And Lucas, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. Yeah, I wish it was daytime because being up like on this hill looking out over is just so wonderful. And yes, Zach, Sprydra is my sister. That's a misconception that happens a lot. It doesn't help that she has blonde hair, so in real life, like when we go to a restaurant or something as a family, sometimes they'll think that Sprydra is my date because she has a different hair color than the rest of the family, which is kind of funny, but they really shouldn't base it on that because it's not the case. And I am sharing an awful lot tonight about all sorts of things, so you're welcome, chat room. You're welcome. Alright, I do not remember where this Momakil is. I think it's to the north. It's definitely the last place I'll look. Alright. Pow says, I'm sporting Aragon Greyjoy mutton chops myself. Awesome. Come on, where is the giant olive? How can you miss an Oliphant? I mean, really. Donut, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. Do you find it insane that High Elf isn't part of the $40 bundle? They've been advertising it as part of the X Pack, but is now a bonus that will cost a significant upgrade. Yeah, I think it's really weird, especially since normally in the classic sense, classes and things like that were included. And I feel like a race is even less than a class, so I don't know why they don't just include it. But, you know, I've complained enough about the High Elf already on all the zone stuff, and so High Elf's not for me. And so I'm not disappointed about it not being included, to be honest. But I, from a consumer perspective, definitely understand where you're coming from and agree that it should have been. But for me personally, it's not a big deal for me because I don't even want the High Elf in the first place. But I definitely understand for people who do that it should have been included. There's a lot of things that should have happened that didn't with this expansion, I feel like. Alright, if anyone remembers where the giant Oliphant is supposed to be in this place, please remind me and let me know in the chat down below. I might look at LOTRO Wiki in a second because I'm not one to get hung up on my leveling searching for an Oliphant for quite some time. Let's see if there's any clues here. Somewhere in the wilds. Okay, so they don't even tell you where it's supposed to be. They said it's because there's tons of people who don't want the High Elf. I don't remember hearing that. That might be the case. They might have said that, but I did not remember hearing that myself. They said High Elf isn't connected to Mordor either. It's just finished development and at the same time. Yeah, but at the same time, the only way to get the High Elf... See, I don't buy that. I think somebody made a great point in the chat today. Because the only way to get a High Elf is to buy that expansion until they release it in the LOTRO store later with Update 22. Which is not going to be the update with the instances. It's after that update. So the High Elf isn't going to be added for several months probably. My guess is till December. And if it's not part of the expansion, I think it should be in the store right away. Because it's not part of the expansion. Or if it is part of the expansion, then they should add it to the base edition. That's just my thoughts on that. And once again, definitely respect people supporting Standing Stone Games with their purchases. Oh, there we go. We found them. We found them. It's just not for me. Alright. We found him. Now what do we do? Oh yeah, we gotta lead him away. This was a cool quest. But yeah, I don't think they ever said that the High Elf was going to be part of the expansion, but I don't think that excuses the common interpretation of what they should have done. Yeah, we need to keep moving. I think it's kind of lame that I don't think he ever actually shows up. I think it just shakes and is like, keep moving, because we're not actually moving the little Karaki. Which in some cases is nice, because if he was actually having to move through here and another player was having to wait for him to move through here, it would be pretty annoying. I think that's why they've moved away from doing stuff like that on landscape, for the most part. Yes, another mossy stone. Okay. Don says, it seems like a big mess, but I also get that it's their first release with something of this size. Yeah. I mean, they have a lot of the same people that they had with Helm's Deep. And to me, this kind of takes away the whole Warner Brothers was forcing them to highly price things argument, because they're putting high prices on things themselves. So the argument that Warner Brothers was the one that was forcing them to have high things in the store, which I myself thought was somewhat true before, seems to maybe not have been the case. But yeah, it was fun to watch them try to explain things on the stream, because they were, I don't know, to me it seemed like they were trying to explain away everything. But I mean, I don't know what else they would have said, so can't believe I'm actually having to use potions on this. Alright. Where is it? Ah, there it is. And Florence says, I bought the Bjorning even though I didn't like it in beta. And I even leveled it to 105 thinking I would work on it some, but they haven't really. Yeah, they need to work more on Bjorning. They need to make things that are overpowered about it not overpowered, and need to make things that are underpowered about it not underpowered. And a whole lot of other just general things as well. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna flop and let him go away. Okay, apparently there's another one down this way. Alright, so yeah, being a level 49 Warden, my biggest pull to Mordor was rolling a high elf, so I'll be waiting until Christmas. Totally get that. It will be a lot cheaper just to buy it with LOTRO points, so I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I don't think there's really any reason for a low level to buy an expansion, and that's been the case for pretty much every expansion LOTRO's ever released, for the most part, except for Mines of Moria. So I feel like that I wish that they would have had more low-level stuff in all the expansions, but that is what seems to be par for the course for them. And my biggest disappointment of this whole thing is not so much that I can't be buying the top edition or supporting them in the way I want to or things like that. It's much more new players looking at the price of the expansion. I feel like that this will deter some people who will get sticker shock, but that's just my opinion. I've seen some other people sharing that, and that's kind of where I got that idea from. Want to be clear about where I get my ideas from. Alright, finally starting to be daytime. I guess it has been for a while, but finally able to see it. We'll do that again when we get closer over here. I mean, this place is just so beautiful. Okay. Approaches calmly and sniffs curiously at the Maruchu bear. Oh no. You should offer the remaining Maroot, probably very quickly, because we don't want to get eaten. Alright. Makes no attempt to attack or flee. That is awesome, being docile. Very cool. Point towards the marshland and command him. Seems to understand your command. Okay, cool. That is such a cool quest. Donut says, and with new people, it depends. Coming a while with that caliber, $40 X-Facts are par for the course. Yes, but not $80 just so you can play the new class, which I think a lot of, or the new, it's not even a new class, the new race. I think a lot of people coming to the game would want to be playing the new thing. It depends on what you want out of an expansion and that kind of stuff, so. And yeah, it depends on the new person. For sure. PC Games Guy, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. Now we get to make it all the way back over there. Geek Prophet, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here as well. You bought the Ultimate Fan Bundle. Fantastic, dude. That's awesome. The more people that can support the game, hopefully, the better the game can become. But, you know, as I've said, just not for me. But I am still looking forward to Mordor. I think that there is so much there. To me, there's two things. Destruction of the Ring, maybe three. Destruction of the Ring, I'm interested to see how they do the power struggle, but not so interested because I hope they don't have the replace the Sauron villain with somebody else syndrome that fantasy worlds sometimes have. And so hopefully they don't do that, because I don't want like the new big bad to be happening immediately after we just defeated the most, you know, evil thing in Mordor. So hopefully they don't do that, but you know, kind of excited about that. Really excited about the allegiance system. I'm looking forward to see all those different plot lines for the different races. I think that's going to be really cool. I'm just going to go back to the road, I think. I feel like that's easier. Florence says, did anyone complain about the lack of LOTRO points bundles in the bundles today in the stream? I did say that people have been complaining on my channel about that, myself included. So I did voice that on the stream, and they said that the prices were based on not having LOTRO points, and if they added LOTRO points, it would make things more expensive. Which is not really the answer I was expecting them to give. Not exactly the answer a lot of people want to hear, I think. So yeah, that happened today. And speaking of things like that, I am going to be getting, from what you mentioned in the chat, I am going to be getting the Discord thing set up very soon, because based off of the Twitter poll I set up, you guys seem to want it. So I will be setting up a Discord server. I don't know when exactly that's going to happen. I have it basically set up, but I'm still kind of holding off on releasing it just yet, just because I'm really busy, and so I don't want to release it when I'm not going to be on it very often at the start. So I'm wanting to get time before Mordor to sit down and set it up, which might be this weekend or might be later. It depends on what all's in the beta and everything like that. Alright, we're getting taken to Hint at the Noon now. Not exactly what I meant to do, but here we go. You arrived at Hint at the Noon, but you can't see anything. Okay. There we go. Blindfold goes away.
Something evil stirs this air.
We will defy the enemy and take back these lands.
Okay. Is this all... Oh, it's because 105. So annoyed that they make armor gated that much. I wish that you could at like 103 get 105 armor. I feel like that's not the worst and most egregious thing you could ever be doing. Because I would like better armor so I could better face the foes that are here. Because I'm very underpowered right now.
Will you help bear my burden, friend? We will purge these lands yet.
Alright, awesome. And if you'd like to join into the group, feel free to send a tell to Dangsong, D-A-N-G-S-O-N-G, and we'll get you out of the group. There we go. It looks like there's more stuff to talk to over here. See, this is great. We're just finishing all these quests with very little issue. But yeah, Florence, I found the
Suspicious
answer
of an
for the
unquenched fire
LOTRO
in
points
the
to be
distance.
very
Faramir led
lackluster.
Armborn and the Rangers to a campsite where they discovered neither man nor orc, and discovered only a smouldering fire, and none nearby to tend it.
Especially when you consider how much stuff the $60 Helm's Deep version had in it with the LOTRO points and all the cosmetics and all that stuff that is also there. It just feels like it doesn't compare to previous expansions as far as what's included in the upper tiers. This one is another really cool quest.
It was then two small creatures leapt from the brush and raised their weapons against us.
Zoe says, when are you putting out more epic, Andang? Well, I did today, assuming you haven't watched that. If you have, tomorrow probably. And then after that, it depends on what's in the beta. But tomorrow, mid to late afternoon, I'm planning to put out another episode of the epic story. And then it depends on what is in the beta, what comes out after that. I am still planning on streaming Saturday, so that will hopefully get this character to 105. And if there is no beta stuff, no beta videos to be making, then I will probably finish the Epic Story series on Saturday. Although, since I'm streaming in the afternoon, I might just hold off and only release the stream Saturday, and then do that on Sunday. I feel like that makes more sense to release that, but the Epic Story series only has 2 episodes left, so that will be ending very soon. Until Mordor comes out, obviously. And when Mordor comes out, I'm going to be focusing first on getting through... When Mordor comes out, I'm going to be focused on... yeah, you missed the video. Catch it after the stream. Okay, cool. No worries at all. But, yeah, I do plan to finish that out. And then when Mordor comes out, I'm going to be focused on Mordor. So I'm going to be going through the Mordor series and doing as much as I can. I'm not going to be even touching my Epic Story series again until after Mordor, probably. But it won't really matter because you'll get the Epic Story in Mordor. So I feel like that's fine. I'm kind of regretting doing even this most recent Epic Storybook because I feel like I have not been far enough removed from it to be excited enough in it, if that makes sense. I'm excited because I'm finally getting to like the end of a 5-year journey that I've been going on with the Epic Story, because it's been basically since the start of my channel. But as far as the reaction to what's going on, I haven't forgotten enough to be surprised by what's going on. And so I feel like I need a bigger gap next time when I resume into the epic story. Because I had a huge gap, especially from like Volume 1. I hadn't done... That was my second playthrough of Volume 1, was the epic story character. And, you know, I hadn't done it since the initial playthrough back with... Technically before free-to-play, because I had a trial character, but with free-to-play was the most recent one that I went through it. And Lucas, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. It's awesome that they use Boromir to communicate this with his brother. Very cool. Everything Frodo and Sam from this point on has been fantastic. I feel like they're really knocking it out of the park with the Frodo and Sam stories. All the allies leveling up. I really need to get this at least imbued before Mordor. That would be nice, but I don't know if it's going to be happening. Is there a way to stop an imbued item from... Oh yeah, you can disable leveling here. I don't think I want to do that. Ghost Lord says, wait a minute, why are you fellowed with a level 39? Because they sent me a tell, and I didn't know that they were level 39. Is he your backup tank? Yeah, he's totally the backup tank.
I will not soon forget those halflings, for they were bold to get...
Yeah, very bold. I wish I would have waited to hear that whole dialogue, because that one's pretty funny. But you can catch it on my epic story playthrough. Alright. Or no, that one wasn't epic story. I think that's just a side quest. But you can see it on my... yeah, March of the King series. Okay, might, agility, there's will. Ghost Lord says, I knew it. That's awesome. Yep, definitely the backup tank. Now we get to hear more of the tale.
As he and the other rangers prepared a trap for the men of Harad at Cirith Negin, Mablung found his discussion with the halflings loudly interrupted. I spoke with the halflings for a time, and they asked much about me and my brethren.
Rangers of Ithilien. I really like Mablung. He's pretty cool. Damrod as well. The Rangers of Ithilien are much cooler than normal Rangers. At least in my opinion. They seem like that they don't fall under the symptoms of the Volume 3 or Volume 1, 2, and 3 Rangers. Or I guess Volume 1 and 3. I don't think there are Rangers in Volume 2. And that's one thing, if LOTRO ever were to be remade, that I'd change as far as story and things like that go, is make the Rangers be much more awesome. Because at this time in MMOs, it was a thing where, like, you know, your companion characters that you're escorting they're not important because we don't really want to invest the AI to make them very good. And so they didn't. But now in like modern MMOs, that's not the case anymore. And so I feel like that it'd be really cool if they revamped it all up. And yeah, Ranger of Ithilien is pretty cool NPC. Broken through the trap. Captain pursues.
Our trap had failed, for the Southrons broke through, his arrows flew above us.
Dang. It's awesome. Got all the hair trim here. Very cool. And yeah, Ghost Lord, using bear form as a mount would be awesome if you could just do mounted combat entirely in bear form. I think that would make a lot of sense.
A great trumpet sounded as a Mumak rushed forth, and in madness it slew all caught in its path.
Very cool. So they exist, yes. Yes, they do exist, Sam. Ah, that's awesome. Slowing down our leveling a bit because of this, but I'm fine with that. These are just such cool instances. I can't wait to see what they do with Mordor. Maid of Lions has really been hyping it up, saying that he's been telling like everybody that's worked there the entire time about how it's going to be ending, because of how amazing the ending is apparently going to be. So I have high hopes. Apparently they're telling it in an unusual way, where it's presumably going to be from some different point of view. I don't know how that's going to work, but
and awaited my captain's
I'm
return.
excited. All right. Another thing we found out today was that apparently the Black Book of Mordor might actually be in future updates after Mordor, which we knew that it wasn't all going to be there, but we didn't know that it was going to be in like later updates. And what we found out is that it's included with the expansion, so we get the entire Black Book. So even if you don't buy like later zones, you'll still get the Black Book of Mordor, which I think is pretty cool that it's included in the expansion, and you'll be able to continue on with it. Now time for another tale.
Down beneath Henneth Anun in the Forbidden
And
Pool,
Ghost Lord says you can pre-order Moria. I think it's a little bit late to pre-order Moria, but I will be pre-ordering Mordor, which I'm assuming you meant. Sorry for pointing that out, but I couldn't resist.
The gangrel creature had come to the
I am
Forbidden
going to pre-order,
Pool,
but probably not until like the
too
Friday
close to
before.
Henneth Anun.
I'm holding out to see if they change anything about any of the different editions, which I don't think is going to happen based on what they said in the stream today. But, you know, one can hope. And so I'm just going to hold off. There's no reason to get it super early ahead of time. That'll give me enough time to apply it to my account and be ready to go Monday. Bongorfians, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. I was playing Monster Play when you started. Ah, nice. And yeah, I agree, Ghost Lord. I agree. I think I've talked that to death on this stream. But yeah, I agree. And Ghost Lord says, it isn't too late for Moria. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, this view is just really awesome. I wish the waterfall sounded this nice. Maybe it does up here sound this nice all the time, but it sounds a lot nicer in this instance, I feel like, than it does when you're actually here. It's not as roaring. Bro, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. Ungorfian says, why does your screen look yellowish? That's because this took place in the past. That's their way of showing that it is historical. Ghost Lord says, push Faramir off. Okay, there you can see I clearly pushed off Faramir. You're welcome. I always thought it was interesting that Sam kind of just hangs back.
Connection with the creature, and offered to lead him to us.
Alright. Now we get another cool interaction here. Only the call of nearby birds break the silence. Okay. I like how Frodo just beckons him and then just walks off, doesn't even wait for a response. Gollum is so creepy in this game with the way his eyes are. Yeah, it's just up ahead. It's nothing. Clearly you're not being led into a trap. Aragorn's definitely not like up ahead with a bag to catch you and take you to Gandalf like what actually happens. I think he takes him to Gandalf. He takes him to somebody. Pretty sure it's Gandalf. So this is the second time that he gets captured by a ranger. At least the second time, maybe even more.
I bound the creature and blinded him with a hood, lest he discover the way to Henethanun.
Yeah, we wouldn't want him to discover the way to your so-secret ranger camp. I mean, it's more secret than Estel Din, mind you. But, yeah. Okay, let's see here. It's always the bottom one for the will. We get another tale. Just story time with the rangers here.
After returning to Henethanun, Faramir called for Anborn to escort the gangrel creature to answer for coming to the Forbidden Pool without permission. At my lord's request, I goaded the Gengo creature forth to answer for his intrusion.
Jeffrey, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. Ghost Lord says, you think we're gonna get Frodo's finger as a pocket item? That would be pretty cool. That would be... maybe cool's not the right word there, I guess. But I think that would be pretty funny. That would be a nice touch. What if we like offer it to him to like maybe like sew it on or something, and then he's like, you know what? You keep it. I mean, that'd be just as useful as most of the stuff we get from NPCs, so... And you know, maybe a hobbit finger's kind of like a lucky rabbit's foot. Jeffrey asks, is this the new expansion? No, this is just at Hinneth Noon, which is in the March of the King North Aphelion area, which is just north of Minas Tirith. The new expansion is, of course, Mordor, which takes place over here, so there's actually one more update before even this one that's already released. And then the expansion will be including that, and it's just 18 days away. Place himself at your service. I think it's interesting how Frodo doesn't want to tell Merry and Pippin what they're going to be doing, but then he's totally fine telling Faramir what they're going to be doing, even though Boromir was the one that tried to take the ring, and it just seems kind of interesting that Frodo is so willing to offer up the brother of the only guy who tried to take the ring this entire time except for Gollum. And it's just interesting that he just freely offers that information to him. Jeffrey says, haven't played since Mirkwood. Well, welcome back to LOTRO, I guess. Nice to have you here. But yeah, if you want a whole overview of what they've done since Mirkwood, they've added in the Great River as an update, both parts of Rohan, those were 2 different expansions. They did Isengard as an expansion. They did a whole bunch of Gondor areas, as you can see. So lots of stuff that's happened since Mirkwood, including Inadwaith and Dunland over here as well as the lead-in. So
I led the creature
lots
away,
of stuff has happened.
and he rested, but never did my eyes leave him.
Mongorfian says, it seems that you stream every 2 days. That is just because I'm wanting to get this character to 105, and I didn't know when Mordor was going to come out. And so I was wanting to make 100% sure that I got it to 105, the level cap right now, before Mordor came out. So that's the reason I've been streaming like every other day. Normally that is not even close to the case on this channel. Normally it's maybe once a week, if not even less than that. With Mordor, I probably won't be streaming hardly at all. With the actual series, I definitely won't be. But probably won't be streaming much at all. Okay. Let's make our way up. But after I get through all of the Mordor content, I will be resuming streaming quite a bit, probably. Yeah, I'm still debating if I actually want to level my Bjorning in streams. I feel like it's just such a long way. I'm not sure I want to level another character.
These are troublesome times indeed.
But we'll see where things take us, you know, when the next level cap is. If the next level cap's like 4 years from now, then, you know, maybe. Patrol the lands around Hinnathanoon. For threats and stuff like that. Last remaining refugees. Okay. Aha! A conspicuous shrubbery. There's one trap. Okay. Is that the same one or is that further down? That's further down. Cool. We'll do that one. Bring me a shrubbery. Yep, I think of that every time. And Anthony, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. And yeah, that's the reason why I might do some streaming, just because I know that everybody likes these streams quite a bit, or at least a lot of people do. And so I know that that is definitely a reason that I might be doing it more often. But I also know that probably a lot more people will want to see my Mordor series than would want me streaming in that time, and so I feel like that I should probably be more focused on that than streaming. But I'll try to do a couple streams somewhere along the lines throughout that. And if I did stream, it would probably be on this character still going through Mordor stuff anyway, so. Although this character is going to have a really tough time in Mordor. I feel like I might even give the Gift of the Valar to this character so that they can just get to, you know, all the virtues and everything that it comes with, and the armor and all the upgrade stuff, so that I don't just die instantly when I enter Mordor.
If you are a scout for King Elisar's host, you have my welcome. The ways
Okay.
of secrecy are ending, it seems.
Yeah, the ways of secrecy are ending, buddy. Oh, and now we got the epic story stuff to be exploring. Exploring inside the place, okay. See, I feel like we need to head back to the camp there, but I do want to finish up here as well. You know what? We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the camp. Turn in all them quests. Lucas says I bought the Blessing of Valor once on a 35. Yeah. I might actually just create a whole new class and Valor it up. I haven't decided yet. Or I might do it on my Bjorning. I don't know. Let me know. I might do a poll actually at some point. I might just do a poll once I get to the point where I'd want to be using it. And I really hope they put it on beta so I can see what all's in it, or, you know, put all the details up of what all's in it. Because I'm very curious as to what all is in it, if it has anything extra that the other gifts didn't. It doesn't sound like it will, but I'm interested if, you know, how much higher the tiers are than the previous one, if anything, and all that stuff. Okay, need to go to the other side because that's where they are. Should not have done that while on Orsteed. That caused so much lag. Okay. But now that it's a beautiful day, we can really see just how great this place looks. They really need to fix waterfalls in the game. That's something I felt they needed to do since like 2010. Especially since 2010, even before that, but especially since 2010. I mean, they got the Hint at the Noon waterfall to look cool inside. Why can't they get the other waterfalls, you know? I'm sure it's a lot more resource intensive to set up and all that stuff, but it'd be nice. Maybe if they get a 64-bit client, they'll finally do that. Where is this? Oh, I guess they're way up here. It just looked closer on the map. Come on, there we go.
Be wary, my friends. Evil spoils these grounds.
I get to go all the way back to this other person. And then all the way back to him. But it's amazing how good even the ruins look in Athelion. Bungorfian says, do you have a laptop or a desktop? I'm on a laptop, a like 5-year-old gaming laptop.
Tidings, friend.
I do hope to be upgrading at some point in the future, but not anytime soon. Not in the foreseeable future. But I do need to upgrade soon. Okay, let's see if I can read it. Kingsfoil in North Athelion. It's hard to read with that color background. So yeah, we get to scout the different ways and get Kingsfoil. And if we track all nearby quests, there should be even more. So yeah, everything's to the north. People are commenting about how many people are on tonight. There are lots of people on in the lead up to an expansion. That's always the case. And I feel like now that pre-orders are open especially, that's going to be a lot of people. Brandeth, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. I'm a new subscriber and I'm just wondering if me, a person who hasn't played Captain before, should I use Area of the Valar on the High Elf Captain? You might consider using that at some point in the future, like when Mordor comes out maybe. I personally would try to do some amount of leveling beforehand. I'd create a different character, maybe even a different class, just to try out different things, and try to get that character to, I'd say, like 40 or so. assuming that you're new to the game, I guess you just said you're a new subscriber, so I don't know if you're new to LOTRO as well. The captain's the only class you haven't done yet. Okay. Well, the expansion comes with the gift, so yeah, I would recommend getting that class that you haven't done before on up. I'd recommend on doing it on one of your alts. I mean, you might as well not waste it. Even if you never touch that character again, at least you used the thing you got. Or, you know, hold on off on it and keep it in your inventory for a while and see if you ever have a character that you'd want to use it on. Because they did say that apparently you'll be able to, it'll be account bound, so you'll be able to move it around different characters as long as you don't use it and make it be character bound. Okay, well there's definitely more traps around here somewhere. Oh, apparently wants us to collect toad slime here. That's a little different. Alright, we need our bodyguards now. Because there's actually a 106 here. I thought they got rid of all the 106s. I thought they said that they had done that when they were doing the whole fixing all the instances and all that stuff, because the scaling's totally different, but apparently not. And yeah, getting the War Steel unlocked would be a good reason for the Blessing of the Valar. And Rendeth, I am on Landerville server. That is my main server. And Mr. Hydra, welcome to chat. Nice to have you here, and we are being attacked. And we died. That is how underpowered we are right now. Is there at least... Nope, he's not here anymore. Alright, well we're gonna heal up here. And try that again. Okay, how far away are they? Okay, they're way up there. I think we're going to go and scout this other one, and then we'll come right back, because they should be here by then. Mr. Hydra says, still have my T2C Hunter and Champion, but IDK if I want to come back. Left after maxed out, new rep. Anything new? Well, Mordor's coming in 18 days. So that's going to be all new crafting, reputation, all sorts of stuff. There's going to be a whole new allegiance system that will have you aligned to different groups and be able to go through entire major plot lines for each of the different races in places like Erebor, presumably. They still haven't technically confirmed that, but they did show a character in Erebor, and that's presumably what will be happening. So like for the Dwarven one, you'll be going to Erebor to help the dwarves. For the Elven one, you'll be going to Lothlorien and figuring out what all has been going on in Mirkwood and the war that has been going on there, because there's also been a war that's been going on in Erebor, so you figure out about all that stuff. So they're adding a lot of stuff, you know, Mordor, Erebor, potentially Mirkwood as well. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that is coming into the game in 18 days. I'm really hoping that they'll have Erebor and places like that on the testing server. Brenda says, what allegiance are you going to do? I think I'm going to do the Dwarven one first. I don't see a world where I'll not be doing the Dwarven one first. Just because it sounds the most interesting. I really like the whole Erebor lore that goes on with the battle that goes there, and just the retaking of a kingdom and things like that. But I do plan to eventually do all of them, and I think on this character I'm going to be going through the Hobbit one. On my Lore Master, I'll probably be going through the Elven one, just because that seems most appropriate for a Lore Master. And then on my champion, after I do the Dwarf one, I'll probably do the Man one after that. Or maybe I'll Gift of the Valar up a character and do the Man one on that one. I don't know. I have not decided yet, since they are including the area of the Valar for all characters, or area. I don't know how to pronounce that word. They pronounced it a bunch. I need to go back and listen and figure that out. And Bongorfian says, would you consider putting Roblox on your channel? Don't know what that is. Anthony says, advice, I'm thinking about using the Valar buff to do a dual screen multi-boxing tune. I already have a Runekeeper. I'm torn before pairing him with a Hunter or a Guardian. I'd say, you know, maybe at least try it. And I just realized we were supposed to be collecting this stuff the whole time. So we've not been doing that. So yeah, I don't think we were doing that quick enough. Dang it. So we get to kill 8 more of them. Well, at least it's been XP. That's not the worst thing in the world. Why could I not collect you? It looks like I have to be the one that attacks them. I think I have to attack them first. Dang it. That's dumb. And he says, by the way, Castlevania was awesome. Did you ever post a review? No. It looks awesome. If you're asking about DDO players, I actually don't know the answer to that, because I'm no longer the head, or, you know, the head of the Players Alliance, and therefore, you know, over DDO players, so I don't know what's going on there anymore. I think Draculetta actually talked about playing through, or not playing through, but actually taking a look at the new stuff. It looks pretty cool. And yeah, I'm not too low level, I just don't have this character set up right. And don't have good enough armor or LIs to really be going through this area. But with somebody else with me, it makes it be pretty easy. Okay, just one more, then we're good to go. Brenda says, how long have you been playing LOTRO? I've been playing LOTRO technically since Middle-earth Online. I was in early beta for that. Since then, I have been in every single beta for LOTRO. I didn't start officially playing LOTRO until free-to-play. I've had free trials and stuff like that for like 14 days and things like that before then, but I didn't get the lifetime because at the time that seemed like too much money to me. Looking back on that, seems very foolish. But at the time, it seemed like too much for the high school. That might have even been before high school. Yeah, that was before high school. I was in 7th grade then. So, when LOTRO initially came out. So, you know, $250 was definitely too much money at that time for me to justify on a single game. And so I didn't. And I've regretted it every day since. And I died. Dang it. Alright, and Dick, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. And they do ask, I played at launch, and I'm tempted to grab the next expansion and use a boost. Will I be lost if I do this? Probably, if you're talking about story stuff, you'll probably be very lost. To me, LOTRO is much more about the journey, but it's totally up to you. I'd recommend getting back into the game and then seeing if you want to get the expansion or anything like that. Man, he's got like a million quests. Okay, now we have a bunch of stuff to defeat and collect. So let's see, we're supposed to collect Horsetail, Lush. What does that say? Lush Oxlip and Lush Wetchling. Okay. Cool. Okay, I don't think we want to attack those guys just yet. Come on, battle cat, go away. But yeah, comparing this minstrel's time it takes to kill stuff versus my lore master, it's just light and day. I guess that was not even for the quest. So that's great. There's the thing for the quest. So cool. Okay, I guess we do need to kill battle cats, so that's good that we are, I guess. Okay, that one's just the repeatable one. We're gonna go ahead and accept it because they'll give us XP, but we're not gonna. I wish there was a way to lock things to where they would never appear in your tracker again. But sadly there isn't. Until you unlocked him, of course. Okay, don't care about that. Where is the stuff that we're supposed to be collecting? Peter, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. And yeah, it did look like the troll had too much to drink. But he was just, you know, caught out in the sun, as trolls do. Their worst enemy. It's amazing to me that trolls can grow to be, you know, full size, having never been in the sun. Like, imagine how many, like, baby trolls die because they go out into the sun, assuming that there are even baby trolls. And again, that's not... Okay, oxlip seeds. That doesn't give us seeds. It doesn't make sense. Field of Cormallen and in the surrounding woods. Okay, so that's all over there. So that would be why we're in this other area. We're just killing these guys. Okay. Justin, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. So yeah, it does help if you look at the right quest chat room. It does help. And yeah, the whole sea turtle thing is crazy. You guys are absolutely right. There we go. We got all the battle cats we'll ever need, hopefully. Alright, Brandeth says, what should I do if I get bored leveling? Few things. I recommend always doing the epic story. If you're bored of the epic story, then I would recommend go and do skirmishes, do instances, get groups to go do stuff with. Crafting even helps you level, so just do some other type of content that you enjoy other than the type of content you've been doing for a while. And that usually helps break it up. On my Lore Master, for example, that's a challenge character where I only do skirmishes, because I really like skirmishes, and Pineleaf does too, and so it's made for a nice series where I've been able to level doing just skirmishes on that character. On this character, I just go through and don't read any quest text, I just go through to just level up through questing and enjoy the gameplay a lot more. On my initial playthroughs, I enjoy the gameplay, and I don't need to kill that guy, I don't know why I'm doing that. I enjoy the gameplay, and I enjoy reading through the quest text and the deep story that goes there. And yeah, skirmishes can be very boring for quite a few players. For me, I actually really enjoy them. So it just depends on your playstyle. Do something different that you really enjoy. Or have other players come to help you do the boring stuff, and that'll be a lot more fun. Or listen or watch to something while you're going through the questing. That can make things go a lot faster as well. I listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm doing like deed grinding, for example, in LOTRO and stuff like that. So I remember one time I was spending leveling just doing quests from 1 to 76 in less than 24 hours.
Do you carry this day?
Yeah, you can level very quick, especially if you know what you're doing in LOTRO. Once you get into this level range, it takes forever though. Alright, defeat orcs. Yeah, that's just the one we've been having. I don't know why it's still in tracking. Alright, we're just gonna add 2 random ones. Okay, maybe not 2 random ones. Take that one off and we'll add that one, just for fun. Okay. Let's see. Collect lush oxlip. There's one. Nice. You two help each other with questing. That is very cool. And that's another reason why I'm wanting to set up my Discord, is just so that my fan base can hopefully work with each other for leveling up and questing. I think I might add like a new player section in there and some other stuff. And there's recently been talk by some of the YouTubers to be creating like a YouTube kinship, which I think would be pretty cool. I'm in full support if somebody wants to make it. Right now I'm a part of so many different kinships and have led kinships in the past that I'm just not wanting to do any of that. But if somebody else wants to put it together, and you know, a bunch of YouTubers start joining, then I'd probably join eventually. The whole reason I moved over to Landerville was because of Casual Stroll to Mordor. I'd been on here, and you know, I was a writer for that site, and so felt like it was appropriate. This one's so annoying. You have to get all these different seeds all over the place. This one is like one of the most annoying. Brendeth asks, if I can say that word properly, where'd you get your name? I got the name Andang from the random name generator for PvP. It was like the prefix and a suffix that was either listed or had been randomly generated or something. And I was wanting something that was easy to pronounce because of the name I had before on Casual Stroll to Mordor. When I would write into them, they didn't know how to pronounce that name, and so I wanted an easy pronounced name. And so Andang is very simple to pronounce. It's just An and Dang. And so that's where that started. And later on, I found out it actually means torch in Indonesian. And that's why if you search for Andang, you'll see a bunch of like Indonesian love songs, because it's like kindling and stuff. Don't worry about that. It means torch in a different way as well, which I use as basically just my goal here, before I even found out that this was what my name meant, is to brighten up people's day and hopefully help them have a better day, and also inform them about LOTRO and things like that. But part of the goal is to help them have a better day, and you know, provide some type of comedy and something they enjoy, LOTRO in this case. So that's why I do this, and hopefully that comes through in some way. If not, then I need to be doing a better job, and I think I need to be doing a better job in general. But you know, I'm trying to get better. So anyway, that's the whole thing, is that I just see Andang as trying to brighten up everybody's day. And yeah, torch in Indonesian. At least according to Google Translate. If that's wrong, then I'm just basing it off of something and I have no idea what it means. But I'm assuming that that's what it means. Alright. Lucas says, now you can actually casually stroll into Mordor. Yeah. On the beta server you can. It's pretty awesome. That's crafting stuff. Because yeah, we only need seeds. And I cannot wait until we get the story that goes on here. Those that are lore fans will know. I'm not going to spoil it here. But that should be in this expansion as well, based on just the allegiance tips, if not, you know, what we assume the epic story will be involving. Alright, don't attack me, worm. I've fought like a million of, like, your kindred. Oh my. Other worms like twice removed from the family. Okay, we got 5 out of 6 of those, so at least we're almost done with that. That'll be 6, so then we just need, let's see, 5 and 3, so that's 8 more. Seven more. Ghostlord says, have you done any flower picking? I think I picked like 1 flower on beta. And then the accidental flower picking I did on here when I was trying to find the right quest. And that's pretty much the extent of my flower picking the whole time. I am not going to support that game type by having it show in their numbers that I did it. I don't think that's how you should be getting gear. I think it's fine if they offered gear through that, but I don't think you should be getting the best gear by doing that type of gameplay. Especially when you don't need the best gear when you're doing just normal questing. If all you're doing is normal questing, then most players don't need the normal gear. And to me, it makes the game more boring when you're extremely overpowered and the landscape is boring, which is why I'm excited about Mordor increasing the landscape difficulty. Bongorfian says, flower picking? Yeah, in the most recent update, the end game was picking a bunch of flowers, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, as far as I understand. I didn't actually do it, so I don't know how much you have to do. But apparently you just pick a bunch of flowers, and that gets you the best gear in the game, currently. So, not something I'm wanting to be spending my time with. And Coastlord says, I picked flowers for a couple hours only to realize I was picking the wrong flowers. Dang. That sucks. That really would be extremely annoying. Alright, well, we're getting there. We're getting to 104. Peter says, honestly, I miss the days when you had to run T2COD to get amazing weapon and gear. Yeah, I know. I'm hoping that'll return with the Mordor instances. I'm hoping there will be extremely better gear for that. And man, this guy is awesome. He has been trying to get here the whole show, and I'm so sorry that you've not been able to, buddy. Brenda says, will you be doing a beta live stream? Or did you do that? Already do that. I have 18 or 19 beta videos on my channel that have gone through pretty much everything on beta. So if you're interested in finding out about beta, there is a playlist about that. You just click on my name underneath this video, and you can even like right click, open a new tab, and do it while I'm streaming right now. And then you go to the playlist tab on my homepage on YouTube. So youtube.com/AndangLP, or I think the link sends you to just my homepage in general at a different URL. And basically, under the playlist tab, there's a whole playlist of all my Mordor beta videos. Also, if you go to the recent video I did about the pre-order options, in the description of that video, there's a link that'll take you to the entire playlist. Or at the end screen, there's a link that'll take you to the whole playlist there too. But yeah, I have thoroughly covered the beta, as I do with every single beta for LOTRO. That's just kind of my thing. I really like covering all of it. And it seems like quite a people like watching it, so... Yeah, I agree. They've made it really easy to get to everything, and they're like, well, we want to support multiple game types. I totally agree. Support multiple game types, but don't give the best gear to that particular game type, which forces people who always want to get the best gear to go and do that game type that they might not want to do. If you provided better gear in this normal game type, or equivalent gear even, to what you get from raiding and other stuff, that would be better. But forcing players that really like to gear up, especially when Mordor is right around the corner, although there's been better gear, I think, since then, so that's not exactly the case.
Let us hope you bring
But there might be flower picking
tidings, friend.
in the waste as well. I guess there is. So, forcing players to gear up for Mordor by flower picking, not the best way to do, I don't think. That's just my opinion, though. Okay, remove that, add that. Okay, so this way, we get to plant the seeds. Prentice says Mordor doesn't have many doors, so Mira needs more doors. Mordor needs more doors. Well, they are adding a housing item that is a door to Mordor in the top version, which I think is pretty hilariously awesome. That you can have a housing item that's a door to Mordor. I wish it wasn't gated behind the top end of the expansion, but, you know, that's one of the quality of life things that doesn't matter as much to me. Alright. Where are we supposed to plant the seeds? Game. Bongorfian says, what's flower picking? Literally picking flowers that are on the landscape. So literally just right-clicking on flowers. So like, for example, let's say that these were flowers to pick. They're not, but let's say they were. I'd right-click. That'd give me stuff that I could then use to trade in for armor. So flower picking is literally flower picking. So like here with this, for example, I see the fertile soil. We'll come back to it. If I right-click on this, I'm collecting right now. And this is what you get, and you can trade it in for armor. That's flower picking. And yes, be glad that you don't know what it is. I agree, chat room. Alright. Oh, something's attacking us. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Dang it, I'm gonna kill this guy. You don't get away that easily. I meant to click that one. That was a mistake. Okay. And yeah, there's no story to the flower picking as far as I know, or anything like that. It's just flower picking. So if you get bored doing quests, just imagine what it would be like picking flowers for hours and hours. It's a collect King's Foil in North Athelion. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Okay. I cannot believe we've already been going for 2 hours. It is amazing at how long it takes to, and I know we haven't been going for a full 2 hours, but I've been streaming to the YouTube server for that amount of time. It's amazing how long it takes just to get up a level. And I mean, I know we did some instances that we shouldn't have been doing if we wanted to be leveling up, if that was our focus, but it's just interesting how long it takes when you get this high up. Okay. Where is the rest of the King's Foil? This is starting to get a little bit annoying. Brenda says, I don't get why people hate Angmar. It's so beautiful. I think Angmar looks awesome. I think they did a great job designing it. I don't know if beautiful is the word I would use, but I do think it looks really cool and fits the area and motif that I imagine Angmar to be pretty well. And so I think they did a fantastic job with the look and design of Angmar. I think a lot of people have problems with the difficulty of Angmar. As far as landscape difficulty, it used to be much harder, whereas now you can get over leveled, and since they've revamped it, it's much easier now. But used to, it was a lot harder than it is. And I think some people just don't like dark zones. And by dark zones, I mean evil places in Middle-earth. And sometimes literally dark, like in Moria and stuff like that. I know a lot of people rush to Lothlorien because they can't handle being underground that long like they are in Moria. But I think Moria has some of the most amazing design in LOTRO. It's still breathtaking what they've done there. Okay, so we're supposed to patrol the lands at this spot somewhere around here. Oh, I think we actually have to click on the Orc Corpse. There we go. Finished off that quest. And yeah, the spooky music, the environment, everything about Angmar, except for maybe some of the questing is starting to get a little bit dated, but Angmar was fantastic, which makes me very excited for Mordor. If they can do close to what they did with Angmar, even, I'd be happy. I'm hoping it's even better, but if they can even get close to Angmar, I'd be happy. Pal says, anyone know if they plan to reduce the price of Helm's Deep after the Mordor release? I would hope so. I've been asking them that multiple times recently, and every time they refuse to answer it. Which makes me think that either they are going to reduce it and just don't want anybody to know, in which case I would argue that that has kind of legally questionable grounds. If they are already planning to reduce it and still charging the higher amount, knowing full well that they're going to be reducing it soon. I don't know the legalities about that, but I would assume that that's not the most ethical at the very least. I hope that they would be reducing Helm's Deep soon. I don't think that Helm's Deep, which a lot of players consider as one of the worst expansions for LOTRO, I think it's pretty good. I just didn't like Epic Battles and didn't like some of the stuff that happened alongside the expansion. But as far as what's in the expansion, I thought it was pretty good. with epic battles being disregarded. And so anyway, I would hope that they reduce it. Apparently we're deciding to go all the way back up to Hinith Noon now. I probably should have done those other quests, but that's where the quest tracker's leading us, so we'll follow it. Okay, I am going to go ahead and dismiss that since we don't have the higher level in here anymore. Okay, I'm going to dismount this mount and mount on the other one here. And yeah, I hope, Peter, that the raid for Mordor is difficult and is at least similar to what they did with the recent raid in the Incense Cluster, because I think a lot of people liked that. And so if they can at least do like a multi-boss thing like that, that is interesting and keeps people engaged, then I think that they'll be fine. But if they can get something on the level of the Rift, which I don't know if they can ever do anything like that again,
Aragorn not. A ranger will not lead you astray.
then that would be fantastic. Coast Lord says, how are you going to survive without your backup tank? I don't know. And yeah, epic battles with a friend are actually fairly fun, I do agree. I had quite a bit of fun with Ethelros back in the day, doing epic battles. And with Terry Adwin recently, actually. Alright, and Hobbit Feet says, Andang, so I know Mordor is coming out soon, but is there another expansion that you would want more than Mordor? As far as looking forward to an expansion, I feel like Mordor is the ultimate. I don't know if the current team is the most qualified to be doing it, though. I think if team wasn't an issue and if it was just expansion regardless of how big or small the team was, then probably Mordor. Because I feel like places that are major enemy places make the best expansions. And Mordor is the ultimate enemy place in Middle-earth that they have the rights to. So I feel like that's kind of the one I'd be looking forward to the most.
Faith alone will not
Other ones
stop
that would be
the
cool
enemy.
would be a Harad expansion, or a Rune expansion, or a Hobbit-themed area at the time of the Lord of the Rings-themed expansion, although it seems like that with the new Allegiance system, that might actually be part of the Mordor expansion since it takes place around the same time, so that would be pretty cool. Alright, Bongorfian says, can you help me power level my Warden? He's level 13-ish. Cannot. Right now I'm so focused on Mordor that unless you're around the level range that I'm leveling at, I really just don't have time to do everything I want to do before Mordor, and also help other players level, especially from around level 13. But if anybody else wants to help you out in the chat, that would be awesome. And I'd also recommend typing in, world chat, asking if anybody would be interested in helping you out. See if there's any kinships that might be interested in helping players do that sort of thing, as I know there are some. I don't know the names of them, but I know that there are some that I've seen advertised that do that. So plenty of different groups to help being power level, hopefully. Alright, take care, Bongorians. Thanks so much for joining. Molten, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. Molten says, can you help power level my champion who's level 100? If you're on Landerville, send a tell to Dang Song and we'll get you added to the group here. Where is this? I guess this is outside up there. It's certainly not down here. We're so close to leveling up. And I want to get farther than just level because I want to make sure that I can get the level up in the presumably Saturday stream when I'm getting to 105. I want that stream to be for sure the one that I can get there. Woof Combo, welcome to the chat. And they ask, how come you don't use Twitch? The main reason is my audience is here. That's been my answer this whole time. I use YouTube to stream because my audience is here. And since they added in YouTube gaming, streaming on YouTube is actually really cool. They've made it be a lot better than it used to be.
May remain hidden by the
There's nowhere near as much latency as there used to be. There's a lot of things that have improved, and you can monetize your videos pretty much from the start. So if you're a streamer on Twitch, you know, until recently that had not been the case. So that had been a perk for a long time, although they've changed back to that. So my main thing on not moving to Twitch is I'd have to build up a whole new audience there, and I didn't know how quickly or if that would even ever happen. And so I figured, why not stick with the audience I already have here? And it seems to work out pretty well. I get quite a few people, especially recently. I've been having especially recently, I've actually had well over 150 people watching at certain times, and so that's been just fantastic. Okay, what are we supposed to do? Spook the Mordor Searchers. Oh, this one's kind of cool. Okay. It fits the mini very well because we're basically just yelling at them as we do with everything else that we do in LOTRO. Alright. When we're on the Minstrel. Okay, what's actually up here? Oh, that's awesome. You actually made it to Southern Athelion, but was shot down by foes before you could make it all the way. That is fantastic, dude. I'd consider that a success. You made it. You totally made it. Yes, more trolls caught in the sunlight. Very good. Now we need to find the lookout point east. And I think it's just awesome, just areas like this, where there is a little bit of story here, but not really. It's just kind of random, and there's, you know, the Mordor logo and all that stuff. That's just cool. I wish there was more environmental design like that, where the landscape tells a story, and you just have to figure out what it is. I feel like that there was more of that in the earlier areas of LOTRO.
Did you see
Whereas
that?
now, it seems like they kind of just tell the story to you, or if there is an environmental area, they'll tell the story still, but you can, you know, kind of piece together beforehand. But I wish that there were areas that were just completely unexplained that you can just explore. I feel like that exploring has been less of a focus of LOTRO lately, and it's been more of a focus to guide the player through the area. And don't get me wrong, I really like the new style of storytelling in a lot of places where it's much more interesting in the side quests, and the side quests feel more like actual stories because there's extended plot lines and things like that. And so I think, you know, places like Wildermore, for example, have done a great job doing that. Alright, what pre-order do you think is worth it? The standard edition. And you can watch my whole pre-order video to find out more about that, or earlier in this stream where I also talk about that. But I think I've more than covered that enough for people who don't want me to cover it. So I've already given my opinion, and you can find it in those two places. But yeah, standard edition. Ian, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. What world are you on? They ask. I'm on Landerville server. Okay, we're actually gonna head north here a bit. Alright, PC Games Guy, take care. Thank you so much for joining. But I have thought about streaming on the LOTRO stream channel just once, if they'd let me. Just to see how that went and how many people watched and things like that. And I don't know, I think it'd be kind of cool. Okay, where... Aha! Entrance to the cave. Ian says, I've been playing LOTRO for 6 years off and on. Awesome. Molten says, dang it, I'm on Arkenstone. I have a level 15 hunter on Arkenstone that will probably never see the light of day, sadly. It might not even be level 15. It's some level that's not very high. And getting to 104 would help quite a bit. Because at least they wouldn't be yellow level enemies. Or orange in the case of the 106s. There we go. Okay, not sure why this is still... Okay, I think we already took care of that. But, you know, we'll fight him again. There we go. Ian says, would you ever want to play with me, Andang? On Arkenstone? Probably not, to be quite honest. But if you come over to Landerville, be more than happy to play anytime. Right now I'm definitely in the lead up to Mordor though, so that's kind of what I've been focusing on, so that's not entirely accurate, but after Mordor and I get through all that, definitely. Okay, that's just defeating orcs in the area. The next one's way up there at Aragorn's camp. I don't really want to go up that far yet, but we're going to anyway, because that's where the quest tracker tells us to. And we're lagging up majorly. Major lag. Okay. Yeah, my biggest advice to players is to enjoy the journey, for sure. That was weird. All the names were showing up in the corner. I've never seen that happen before. Definitely having major lag. I don't think it's client side, but it might be. Let me close out of one thing real quick. Just in case. Oh, that was a mistake. Well, we did that again. That's awesome. See, that's why I want to create my Discord server, so I can have a place where everybody can chat and get to know each other when I'm not streaming, so that then, I can still communicate with everybody when I'm not streaming over the course of Mordor. I think that would come in handy, so that's why I'm looking into that. One of the many reasons. Brenda says, do you have characters on Gladden? I don't think so. Before Landerville, I was on Imladris, and I also created a character on one of the other servers that were added with free-to-play. When I started free-to-play, I wanted a server that was just new, because I thought it'd be cool to have all these new people on a server. And it was awesome. Everybody was learning the game at the same time. It was almost like one of those stuck-in-time servers. It was just cool to be starting from the start and have everybody experience it for the first time. I guess we don't need to actually go inside here further. I think that's all we have to do for now here. Alright, and Drop'em, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. Yeah, I have so many people just wanting to find groups and stuff like that, and so I think the Discord would be a great solution for that. Okay, where is this final... Okay, we'll fight these guys. And yeah, if you want to invite to the group, let me know in the tell. Feel free to. Just send a tell to Dangsong, DANGSONG, and we'll get you out of the group. And hopefully they're finished loading now and I can invite this person now. Has not finished the introduction. Okay. They probably don't want to be part of the group then. It's me, Ian. Awesome. That's awesome that you're creating a character here on Landerville. Okay. Let's see. I hate it that this quest is in Tracker. Again, they need to add the option so that you can have stuff never appear in the Tracker. I'm telling you, it's a great idea. I think anyway, obviously. Wilton says, hey Andang, do you know where to get a first age sword? Ask somebody to craft it for you, or you can buy it off of the auction house. Those are pretty much the two main options. Or craft it for yourself. And yep, Nathalder, I definitely see it and put that together. So yeah, that's awesome that you're joining. Walton says my kinship got inactive and I only have friends who aren't high level. Yep, that is sadly something that happens in LOTRO. Kins typically last 3 or 4 years in LOTRO, maybe. Swifty, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. I definitely think it's worth a try. It's free. You might enjoy it, especially if you're a Tolkien fan. I think that you probably would enjoy it. They follow the lore extremely closely, and it's just a really cool game, I think. Definitely worth a try. Wilton says, I don't think I could do roving threats by myself. The solo ones aren't too bad. They're just kind of like elites, but anything beyond the solo ones are pretty difficult if you're not prepared for them. Alright, now we need to plant more seeds here. Let's get this over with as quickly as we can. Not exactly my favorite quests to be doing. And yeah, Stefan makes a good point. There are usually groups for roving threats all the time on pretty much any server, even the older roving threats, because there's players still doing the deeds. I actually got the deed done on my champion on a really old one. I don't remember which one it was, so that I could get the trait point. I think that's in Old Anorian, maybe. I don't remember where the trait point is, but I had a group get together to do those just because of that. They're a lot of fun. If you have a group. Solo, I personally just don't enjoy them that much. Okay. 2 more planting of the plants, and then we should be good to go. Hopefully, we will be able to level up tonight. That would be really annoying if we don't get at least 1 level. And yeah, it seems Arkenstone has gotten to be a lot more popular recently. Landerville used to be a really popular server. I feel like there's still quite a few players on it, but it's not as high ranked of a server as it used to be as far as the overall popularity of players, I feel like. And a lot of that has to do with the server merges. A lot of players didn't move to Landerville when they did the server merges, but the players that have been here are mostly still here, so. Search for trolls in the southwest of Hinethanoon. That's way down. I guess it's just right there. Alright, and Ian asks, what time is it where you are, Andang? I cannot believe how often I've been getting that question asked. I might be missing an inside joke, or you guys just might be really interested at what time it is. It is currently 10:30, a little after 10:30. I guess 10:45. My computer clock is a little slow. And when I change it, it actually causes my computer to not update properly. So I've decided to just leave it being slow. It's like 7 minutes slow. Nice, I think I had a character on Dwaradelph before the merges. I almost was on Dwaradelph instead of Arkenstone, assuming that that was one of the new free-to-play servers. Whichever one was started with a D that was new with the free-to-play. On the US side of the servers. But yeah, and if you're a new player and are on the Arkenstone server, there is the LOTRO Academy podcast, which is a great podcast for new players, and they have a kinship on Arkenstone that is for new players. So if you're interested, you might want to look at that kinship for new players. They do all sorts of group stuff all the time. Alright, Drop 'em every day says, are you ever going to do monster play again? Probably not. Not until it's balanced, and that doesn't look like it's going to be anytime soon. And even if it is balanced, I'll probably be so focused on... Even if it is balanced in the near future, I'll probably be so focused on Mordor that I won't be. I did PvP for like 3 or 4 years. And over the course of multiple summers, before I even had this channel, I was doing a lot of PvP. But I just have gotten so burnt out on it that I don't think I'm going to be doing it ever again at this point. I'm so tired of it not being balanced. And on Landerville, it seems like people don't really like to get into groups, which is kind of annoying. On Ladris, I would lead groups all the time, and we'd get full groups and be going out and doing and having a lot of fun time. And yeah, back in the PvMP Andang days, I did do it quite a bit. Walton says, could I craft my own legendary weapon because I am a weaponsmith? I believe you can if you get up to that part. There are far more knowledgeable people about crafting than me. But chat room, feel free to answer that question as well, because I know some of you definitely know. And for those wondering why I don't craft, it's because I got ruined by RuneScape. I loved the craft in RuneScape so much that when I got to LOTRO, I just didn't like the crafting as much and just have not been able to get back into crafting in any MMO since. And a lot of that's nostalgia, but you know, that's a side effect of it. So I don't know. Crafting's pretty good in LOTRO. I did try it out for a bit. I farmed and did the ore one as well for a while, but just could not get into it. And cooking and a few others, so because cooking goes with farming. Okay, we got a lot of quests that we got complete. I think that'll be more than enough to level us up, so that's good. And yeah, the guy I'm playing with does have pretty awesome cosmetics, I do agree. We'll get a close-up look here in a second. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Alright. And yes, I do know cooking is one of the worst ones to be doing, and so I probably made myself not like the whole crafting thing because of that, but that's just kind of what happened. Okay, which one do we have not? I guess everything else is completed. So let's go and turn in all this stuff. And yeah, I can definitely see the RP side to cooking. I think that'd be pretty cool, especially if you're a Hobbit character. But yeah, I've just not been able to get into crafting. I feel like that a lot of games do it far better, and because of that, I just haven't been able to get into it. But I have nothing against it because I love it when I can, you know, buy crafted items or get crafted items from other people in my kin or fans or stuff like that. So I love crafting. I just don't like doing it myself. Mats, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. Got so many people joining tonight throughout the stream. That's been fantastic. One thing I do that some players don't like, at least, is that I look at my map a lot. But it's just the fastest way to get places, is being able to look at your map and see exactly where you need to go. But I know it does annoy some people. So I apologize if you're one of the people that get annoyed by that. No, not the one behind us. Show me the new ideal trap location. It should be around here somewhere. Come on. Good, you just aggro, you don't attack me. I always like enemies like that when I'm doing other stuff. Here we go. There should be a couple orcs over here that we can scare. Seven says, I look at my map too, gotta know where you're going and how to get there, right? Yeah. Yep. And I think other players look at their map too, but they don't look at it as much as I do, so. But I'm sure there's other players that look at it more, so. There's that too. Okay, we're supposed to spook the Haradrim guys as well. There is an orc. I guess we can do this while mounted. I think that's all of them in this area. So we're done with that for now. We'll come back to it after we go and turn in all these quests, presumably in Hin at the Noon, although I think there's some that are on other NPCs, and I'm going the wrong way. I need to go up this way a little bit. Here we go, Aragorn.
The rangers of Ithilien have spoken to me of that pass. We will need skill and stealth if we are to ambush the ambushers.
Okay. And thank you very much, Matt's Gaming. Alright. What do we got in here? Legendary items leveling up like crazy. Almost got that one to 50. It's taken forever. It's so much longer than this one. This one I got up like right away. This other one's taking forever though. Somehow we have a reputation with pretty much everybody. Okay.
Will you help bear my burden, friend?
If it's the ring, then no, but sure. Oh, this one will do it, I think. Level up! 1 level to go! That is awesome. So excited. Okay, I guess we'll retake it. Apparently there's also bear traps that we now need to worry about instead of the other traps.
Be quick, tell me everything.
So see, doing all that has finally paid off. We're now able to turn it in a bunch. Withaldo says, I hate the beginning part. Yeah, I totally understand. It can be pretty annoying, especially if you've done it several times, in particular recently on a character. But you know, you can skip the tutorial. I know that doesn't help later on, but filler water skin in the forbidden pool, that sounds safe. I always thought it was kind of weird that we can go to the Forbidden Pool, but nobody else can. But you know, I guess we're a good enough friend that they're like, fine, you can totally use our pool. Actually, hold on. We want to do the other one first, I think. If I can get around this rock. There we go. I'm making this way harder than it needs to be, but I do want to get this other stuff done first. Wolf Combo says, do you watch Game of Thrones? I don't, sadly. I've been meaning to get into that, but I've just not been able to so far. I guess it wasn't this pool, it's the one over there. So we dismounted for nothing here. That's great. I have a feeling that we're going to be dismounted on the other side of this, and I'm wasting my time mounting up. Yep. Okay. Well, that was productive. Alright. Should probably use the 6 out of combat run speed boost that we got here. Okay. There we go. One of the 3 that we have to do. Now we get to destroy bear traps. Here we go. Luckily this is nowhere near as bad as the other traps, because I think it's just in a straight line. Okay, still leveling up. Well, that one's at 58. Once I'll be able to deconstruct that, I'll be able to get the other one on up, so that'll be nice. Oh, hey, I need those guys. I should have probably scared them off. Oh well. Ian says, do you play often? Yes. Not as often as you might think. Pretty much what I do here on YouTube is everything I play, unless I'm grinding for like deeds or something, which is not that often. Especially on this character, I haven't done any type of character improvement on this character because it was just initially intended to do bingo boffin stuff. So I do play often, but it's pretty much just whatever is here on YouTube. So that's pretty much everything I do in LOTRO, at least. I play other games more often, not more often, but I play them off of YouTube, but not that often. Most of the stuff I do is on YouTube. And typically if I'm playing something off of YouTube, it's either on a console, which I don't have a way to capture it, so I can't put it on YouTube, or it is something that I'm preparing to be playing or something like that, which happens sometimes where I'll really get into a game and really like it, and so I'll decide, hey, this would be a cool series, kind of a thing. What is up here? Oh, these guys.
Though I know Aragorn not, a ranger will not lead you astray.
Okay, so now we get more random stuff to be doing. Being a hobbit is kind of annoying sometimes because you have to go through each of these different ones. Okay, disturbed earth here. Ian says, what character will you be playing after you get your mini up to 105? My next one will be my champion when Mordor comes out. I'm probably going to be taking a bit of, not a break from LOTRO, because I will still be releasing LOTRO stuff onto my channel, but as far as me personally playing stuff, this is pretty much the last thing I'll be playing before Mordor comes out. Apparently that one doesn't have anything in it, regardless of how many times you click on it. Go figure, if I would be paying attention to what it was actually saying. But you know, we had to fill the water skin like 4 times earlier, so you never know with these things when you're not paying attention as much as you should. And this whole section is pretty cool. Definitely gonna be going through here. Let's see. I feel like maybe after this area we might call it. We'll see where we're at then. Like Molten says, do you know how to have a lower level character have higher level cosmetics? Well, if you have access to higher level stuff, you can actually equip it on the cosmetics outfit area. So you click on your character thing, go to cosmetic outfits, and you just drag the items in here. Even if you can't equip them to your actual character, you should be able to cosmetically equip them on this panel. So all you have to do is get the high level gear and equip it on the cosmetic outfits, and then you just right click on it and it'll switch to that outfit. So that's all you have to do. Yeah, no problem, Molten. And there is a slight chance that I might be doing a Bjorning stream at some point before Mordor, but I don't know if I want to start that just to not be continuing it once Mordor comes out. So I'm still debating on that, plus I don't know how time schedules are going to work with everything I'm doing. I might even start my Banner Saga series before Mordor, or resume some of the older series that I've kind of taken a little bit of a break from, like the Transport Fever and StarCraft 2 series that I got going. But you know, we'll see what happens. Kind of just playing it by ear, seeing how much beta stuff will be coming out in the next couple days, things like that. Okay, we did not get anything in the Disturbed Earth again. Although apparently that one had one thing, so there we go, it was just delayed. Cool. Okay. We're getting there. Wolf Combo Man says catapults are superior siege weapon. I think trebuchets are better, personally. as far as what they can actually do and how far they can deliver things, they seem to be a lot more powerful than catapults for the amount of materials that you would need to build the same thing. David, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. And they say they reinstalled the game after 6 years because he came across my channel. That is awesome. That is fantastic. That's part of the reason I do this, is not to get more people playing LOTRO, but just to remind people how cool a game LOTRO is, and if they're interested in it, hopefully help them have more good times in the game. And the main reason I guess I phrase it that way is because I know that listening to a casual stroll to Mordor back in the day made me enjoy LOTRO so much more. It was just fantastic to listen to them all the time. So I really don't know why people listen to my stuff, but I assume that it is a similar thing to how I viewed casual stroll to Mordor back in the day. Yeah, the game's quite a lot of fun, especially if you have friends that play it and stuff like that, so. There we go, finally finished that one off. Okay, just 3 more of both of those and 2 more trebuchets, and then I think we're good. Death, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you here. They say they're asking if I bought Mordor yet. Nope, I have not bought Mordor yet. I am holding off until the Friday before, just to see if there's any better versions. If you want more details about that, I did talk about that early on in the stream, pretty much from the start. So you can watch that either now, or because you can rewind the stream for I think 4 to 8 hours, and my streams never go that long, so you can rewind the whole stream and watch any part of it any time on YouTube, which is another reason why I like YouTube. I really like listening to the LOTRO stream. I'll usually come into it like 15 minutes in, especially on a week when I know there's not going to be much news. And then I'll listen to it at 1.5 speed, because YouTube allows you to do that. And so I can spend less time listening to the same stuff and still get questions in and stuff like that, so. Pro tip there, if you don't like how long the LOTRO streams are for the amount of information that's in them, you can actually speed them up. And luckily Cordovan doesn't talk extremely fast, so sped up Cordovan isn't that hard to understand, so that's nice. Let's see, I think we got everything. That says I took a hit and just bought the fan bundle. Awesome. Awesome. I'm definitely trying to, as I said earlier in the video, try to support everybody's decision on the expansion, because the thing I hated most was when people told me that I bought the wrong version of the expansion, and it made really guilt tripped me, like, well, maybe I didn't get the right one. So I'm voicing my opinion, but also not trying to make the decision for other people. And plus, the more people that support the game, in theory, that should make the game better for everybody, so. Alright, and Aldrathin asks, do you use any of the stats tomes? I do use the stats tomes, but I don't know if I've actually used any on this character. But yes, I do use stats tomes because they're a huge improvement to your character, so I don't know why you wouldn't use them. Brenda says, just finished Lone Land Slayers. Now I'm off to crafting. Congrats, that's awesome. Lone Lands for me is a really... I have to be really motivated to quest through the Lone Lands. It's just probably my least favorite zone in LOTRO. Exactly, Zoe. I mean, as far as hobbies go, LOTRO's pretty inexpensive when you compare it to building a car or even just going to the movies every weekend or something like that. LOTRO's really inexpensive for a type of content that takes a lot more work than a movie does to make. And so I feel like gaming has not gotten to the same pricing that movies got, because movies charge you a bunch of times, and so I feel like that's what DLCs started to do. And so I feel like for the amount of work that goes into games, they're probably some of the cheapest, least expensive, I should say, entertainment that is out there. For the amount of hours of entertainment you get. And yes, Death, the door port that lets you simply walk to Mordor is pretty cool, and I love the play on words there. Ian asked, do you have to buy Mordor? No. You don't have to buy anything in LOTRO. You can get all the way up to level cap without buying a single thing, ever. But if you want to be experiencing the story, then yes, you... Well, the epic story you don't, but... And I died there. We'll retreat and come back in. I guess the Bjorning does have a res, but, oh well. Where am I? Way down there. Alright, we're gonna make our way back up. So, no, you don't have to buy Mordor. Unless you're wanting to experience the Mordor content, in which case you do have to buy Mordor. But the epic story is continuing to be free with the exception of Helm's Deep. But if you're in the low level areas and are just playing through the content, you do not have to buy Mordor to keep logging into LOTRO. You can still log into all the parts of the game that you have, and you can go anywhere in LOTRO regardless of if you own something, including Moria or anywhere, I think. I'm pretty sure just about anywhere. There might be a couple exceptions where it's like quest gated, but as far as the general landscape of LOTRO, you can go anywhere without any requirements of buying anything. And yes, the Black Book will not be free because it is not part of the epic story. And post-epic, I don't like that word because they do act like they are going to be returning to the epic story at some point in the future. Just not right now. This Black Book of Mordor is going to be something totally different, supposedly. So far, I think it's just the epic story, based on what I've seen from the first 2 chapters. But sure, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that it'll be something different. And yeah, it does kind of seem like a side epic, essentially. It's more than just the normal side quest areas, it feels like. But it's still different than the epic story because it's doing something different. And I'm glad that they're not staying within the structure of the epic story, because I feel like it would be really confusing to be doing the Black Book of Mordor all of a sudden, because I feel like it's, all new characters and something that's really is different. So I think it makes sense. think I already did this one, but we're gonna make sure. That says, oh, and I just listened to a podcast Chance Thomas did, and he dropped a little Mordor info in it. If you're talking about the one that they tweeted earlier today on the LOTRO thing, or posted in the forums or whatever it was, I listened to that too. The only thing I noticed is just that he said he was getting very close to having the like final mix done for the Mordor music, which sounds awesome. There was also a lot of cool like how he's going about it, things like that. Nothing that really stood out to me as far as news, but it was a cool interview. And yes, Wolf, the 1.5 speed thing has saved me so many times. It also is nice because you can pause the stream, step away and, you know, get food or go to the bathroom or whatever you need to do, come back, resume at 1.5 speed, and you can go through it faster. Oh, we pulled two different groups. Alright, I'm gonna heal through this. Alright, and Starman, welcome to chat. Nice to have you here. And they say about half the book of Return of the King is still left after the destruction of the ring. So it'd be a bit weird if the epic ended that early. I agree, there's still so much to tell that's involved with the books, which the epic does seem to generally follow, although Volume 1 didn't really do that, but it seems the epic has kind of turned into the whatever Frodo, Sam, Aragorn, and the rest of them are doing thing. So I do agree that that definitely seems like what they're doing now with the epic. And yeah, streams are nice and unique where you can find out things that other people ask that you would never really take the time to read through in YouTube comments or something like that. And you know, streams, it's much more encouraged and feels like that you should be asking questions just to keep conversation going and things like that. And so it is a nice dynamic. You definitely learn a lot more about the streamer in streams, I feel like. And so I definitely enjoy the variety of content between streams and recorded content. And it seems like you guys do as well. You like watching both of them, it seems, so. And moreover, it's just something different that keeps me interested in LOTRO and continue to have more content that's just something else that is still LOTRO related. Okay, I think that's everything here, but I'm pretty sure there's a quest to come back and kill that guy. I kind of want to go ahead and kill that guy. We gotta go ahead and kill this guy, right? Ah, the stuns! The stuns! Okay, apparently that made our boots need repairs for some random reason. Okay. Oh, hello. But yeah, even with the sped up speed on those streams, sometimes when there's very little news, it's not even fast enough to get through them, I feel like. Alright, Wolf Combo says, anyone know if the Yell Line Bjorning is a viable healer in in-game? I don't know now. I know that used to, on PvP, they'd be good at everything they did. But I don't know now if in group content that's still the case. I know mounted combat is still really weird for them. Yeah, I feel like they're much more of an off healer than a main healer. But I also don't feel like that they're useless as a healer. And, you know, it depends on how you have your character set up and a lot of other things.
What tidings do you carry this day?
Because in bear form,
What
I feel like
tidings do
they
you carry
have
this
decent
day?
heals at least. The problem, I guess, is staying in bear form. Okay, there's one more of those. Another one of those. Where's the last guys to scare? Gotta be around here somewhere. Here we go. One more. There we go. Now we just need orcs, which are nowhere near here. Alright, let's track all nearby quests. Okay, so we need to go back to that cave, do some other stuff. Let's see. I think we're going to go a little bit longer because there's still quite a bit of people in the chat. And I just want to get further along into 104 so that it's less stuff that I have to do Saturday. Yeah, let's just go ahead and go into this cave and take this on. I think that's going to be a cool, maybe not final thing, but one of the last things we do. Oops, that's not the way I meant to go. There's a road around here somewhere. Supposedly on the minimap, but it's not really a road. It's just like a side travel thing to this cave. Wherever it is. See, even though I've been here before, it's still hard to find. Now we get to collect all these supplies and take out all these enemies in here. One thing I do wish that LOTRO got a little bit better at is cinematic storytelling. I feel like they could do a better job in some places. Their storytelling's great. I feel like that their cinematic stuff is just recently starting to get close to be on par with other games and what it should be. And yeah, I know I just have to follow the clips around. It's a matter of remembering that that's even where it is up here and not like down the waterfall or something like that. I don't know why I get that confused with the other place, but I do. I've only gone through to these locations once, unless you have to come here in the epic. I don't remember if you do or not. So that's part of the reason why. And yes, a volume control in cinematics, or just making cinematics balanced with the rest of it, that would be, well, I guess because of how you have your individual stuff, it could be balanced in a lot of different ways. So, but yeah, they need a volume control in cinematics desperately. I remember the Helm's Deep cinematic where Theoden's screaming victory or whatever. Way too loud. It was so loud that it actually echoed through my headphones at the time, through my mic into the other, to where it picked up the other person's computer that I was on the call with audio, because it was so loud in their computer that it was coming through my mic into the, through my headphones into my mic that I had, which was ridiculous. But it was like ear-deafeningly loud, to the point where it's like just as loud as the person that's talking through the headphones. So yeah, that was ridiculous. I'm pretty sure that's in my Helm's Deep playthrough series. You can listen to that craziness mistake if you want to. If you're ever bored one day and want to hear really bad YouTube videos from a long time ago, back when I wasn't anywhere near as good at this. And didn't edit my videos at all. Well, that's not true. I added video enders. There was that. So there was slight editing, but the actual content of the episode from start to finish had no editing in it. And you know, minimalist editing is fine, but having no editing is another story. But it can also sometimes make for more funny stuff when there's just random issues and you have to keep going because you know it's not going to be edited and stuff like that, and so it can get to be a little bit more obscure and stuff like that. So there's benefits to it, but I feel like not as many as there are cons. Okay. And yes, I'm sure you all know the ear-hurting cinematics, but with the way my audio setup is for recording, I feel like it's even more so. Okay. And yeah, it was brought up to the devs on the 10-year stream. I can't believe that they haven't fixed that. Another thing I would love is a way to actually turn off the text that shows up above characters' names for cinematics. It would make cinematics so much better. Or cinematics. When I'm filming for like trailers and stuff, like it's a huge issue with Middle-earth lore where they'll have like floaty stuff, and so we can't film the action because it'd have all the text over it and it'd look really weird in the course of it. So that would be a huge help to people who do machinima and stuff like that, and it'd just be a nice option to turn off the floaty text completely, because right now you can't. One thing I don't like about the zone is it's really hard to find a vendor without going all the way back to Hin at the Noon. I feel like it doesn't, because it has these two guys that are out. This part of it, you have a hard time getting everything vendored and repaired and all that stuff, unless you go out of your way to go back to Hin at the Noon. Okay, so we have these 2 quests to turn with him. I think that that will probably end things out here. Thalder says, I've been on for 45 minutes. I'm now only level 9. I'm a noob. Nah, you're not a noob. I would probably take at least the same amount of time. Probably longer. Just because when I'm creating a new character, it's usually because I want to experience the whole
You
game
help
again.
bear my
so-
burden, friend. Be wary, my friends.
Or at least parts
Evil
of it.
spoils
And
these
he's
grounds.
gone. Thanks for letting us go with you, buddy. That's just great. Alright, we're going to finish these last 3 quests we got here. That's my goal. I know I said we'd be done with the last one, but I'm feeling like keeping going, so we're going to do that for a little bit here. Okay, spook the orcs. We need to find... There we go, there's one. And there's the other. There we go. Alright, just out of curiosity, do we have any other quests? Alright, that's just at Hineth Noon. What about the epic story? Over the Forbidden Pool. So that's also at Hineth Noon. Or that's the lookup point. So I guess that's up above at Hineth Noon. I don't know. Alright, is everything back at Hineth Noon? That's over there, that's over there. That's over there. Alright, yeah, everything is back at Hineth Noon. So that's convenient. We can now go and repair at Hineth Noon, and that'll be a great spot to end off at as well. Cool. Alright, Death says you need to access one of the admin account or let you access the features on Palantir or Bulwark maybe for content makers. It'd be so nice to have a server of our own back when they were making Rise of the Fellowship, the film. That's a LOTRO film. If you did not know, there is a LOTRO film. It's called Rise of the Fellowship. I don't think we can go up there. Nope, we have to go around. Alright, game. But it's called Rise of the Fellowship. And it's actually a pretty cool film. It's a parody type thing combined with just being a cool, nerdy film to check out if you haven't already. Made by Ron Newcomb. He's a pretty cool dude, just an independent filmmaker. And he got to film on his own private server. I'm assuming it was just the beta server, but nobody was on it. And was able to film scenes for the film. There's actual gameplay of LOTRO in that film. They got full permission back from Turbine before they were part of Warner Brothers. I don't think there's any way Warner Brothers would have let that happen after the case. But very cool that they got that whole permission to film in-game. Hopefully SSG would let something like that happen again. I think that would be pretty cool. And the Tom Bombadil Gandalf type figure in that film is hilarious. Again, if you've not seen it, Rise of the Fellow's Hip, it's pretty awesome. Or Rise of the Fellowship, depending on which version of the title. They've had a couple different titles, but it's the same movie. We're gonna go up here, make sure that there is no quest. I'm gonna probably want to dismount so I don't go off the top of this. We'll see.
I will choose rangers of our band that are up to this task.
Okay, so there is an instance that's coming up. We'll do that next time. We've done enough instances, I think, in this stream. And yeah, Cordovan seems to be pretty good about promoting just about everything that players do, which is fantastic. Repeatable, repeatable, and repeatable. I wish it was more obvious, like they'd have like a repeatable icon in their quest or something if all they had was repeatables.
I will find others of my people who wish to help.
I hope you are planning to ask me to join on this endeavor.
And yes,
Let us make
Legolas
our
inviting
plan,
himself
and then
there.
depart for Kirith
I
Neg.
love that he does that.
The earth has reclaimed the
'Cause he
deeds
then
of
all of a
men
sudden
and
becomes
orc,
like the head of the
fair
mission.
or foul.
Okay, let's see here. Will. Okay. Aside from doing the water skin one, which is just in those two places, and traveling to Aragorn's camp, which we're not ready to do yet, that's everything. Everything that we're doing this week. And yes, Death, I was featured in the Beacon this week. Pretty awesome. I do appreciate it every time Cordovan's mentioned me in the Beacon. I think it's kind of funny that he mentioned the content that is like 7 years old of the... Not 7 years old. What am I talking about? Like 2 years old of the adventure stuff. But I think, as I've said before in a previous stream, I think the adventure stuff stands the test of time and is cool anytime you watch it. And so that's why I've been re-releasing it here since I had the first 36 episodes already. And then we moved to the other Players Lines channel. Now that I'm not part of the Players Lines, I decided we might as well release the final 14 here on this channel, just so it's all there in the playlist and people can watch it whenever they come back to it, because people do watch stuff later on my channel. People are still finding some of those old videos for the first time, which is pretty cool. And re-releasing it has
These are
helped
troublesome
more people
times
find it.
indeed.
Okay, there. We repaired, and we'll do the rest of it once we're off the stream here. So, yeah, I was in the Beacon this week for that, which was pretty awesome. A big thanks to Cordovan for doing that every time he does. I really do appreciate it. And just awesome that he does the Beacon in general. Cordovan, to me, has been the best community manager we've had since at least the early days of LOTRO, when we had a bunch of community specialists with the classic game, and then into Mines of Moria, and I think even Siege of Mirkwood we still had a lot of community specialists. Maybe even as late as, I think it was even after free to play, we still had quite a few community people. But since we've had the single community managers, I feel like Cordovan is the best one we've had so far. He's definitely done the best at promoting things that people have been doing in the community. Not only on YouTube and Twitch, but also he's done a great job on promoting in-game events. I feel like better than anybody has in a really long time, maybe ever in LOTRO's history. They're promoting everything in the Beacon that they can, and if they're not, then they're promoting the LOTRO Players article that has all of the different community events and stuff like that. So I feel like that they're really promoting the community better than they have ever, if not in a really long time. And so I think that they do a great job with that. I think that's definitely LOTRO's biggest strength is the community, and I'm really glad that they're supporting it. So, yes, that does bring us to the end of the stream here. And just as you can tell, he's a media guy because he knows how to ask questions and promo and stuff. Yeah, he is a media guy, so he understands why people are asking questions. He also understands questions to be asking the developers, which I think is really good. He knows how to get information out of them for streams. I still think that they're way too secretive about a lot of things, but you know, fine if they want to be, I guess. But I wish that they were more open, even more than they have become in recent times. But I think with a lot of things, they're afraid of missaying things and misleading players, even though it'll still happen regardless of how much they talk or not. So, I don't know. That's a whole other topic we'll talk about some other time, I guess. But anyway, hopefully this Saturday, it's still tentative, it's not 100% for sure, but hopefully this Saturday in the afternoon Eastern Time, late afternoon Eastern Time, I will be doing the stream to get this Minstrel up to 105. So if you want to watch that stream, that should be when it is. Obviously, follow Twitter to check and see if that's not the case. I don't think I ever even posted about the stream on Twitter, so I apologize this time. I forgot to. So, sorry about not doing that this time. But I do try to post every time on Twitter. I kind of just lapsed this time, so I'll be posting the stream after so that people will still be able to catch it. And I think the auto tweet still goes out, so that from it being started on YouTube, so I think that still went out. So I think it did still get promoted, just not as much as normal. But anyway, I will be hopefully remembering to promote it on Saturday, assuming that will be when the stream is. And of course, that still does greatly depend on how much beta stuff there is. If there's a whole lot of beta stuff, then I might not be streaming Saturday, it might be Sunday or some other time. I'm not expecting there to be enough new stuff for me to not be able to do a stream of that length on Saturday. I think that I'll be able to do that and work around getting the rest of the beta stuff done. But I might be wrong, there might be a bunch of new stuff. But I think most of the expansion and everything that's coming with it are already up. So, and yeah, thank you everyone so much for joining. If you enjoyed the stream, be sure to give a like down below. That really does help out with the rankings on YouTube and promotion and helping people find the channel and the stream. If you have not yet done so, feel free to subscribe. It is free. All it does is just notify you. You can turn off even email notifications, so it'll just let you see my videos more often when you're on the YouTube website, so you don't even have to get notifications from it. It'll just make it be more likely that they'll be in suggested videos and featured on your homepage and things like that. You can press the bell to get more notifications, and that'll allow you to mess with your settings and things like that. And yeah, thank you everyone so much. I'm looking forward to Mordor. We're 18 days away. Pretty soon, technically in Eastern Time, we're 17 days away. And yeah, I'm hoping to show off the character models one final time. I'm hoping to show off any new areas if they have the areas that'll be included with the allegiance system easily available. And so if they do, I'll be showing off that. And I think that's really the only two major things that are still left that have not been in some form of testing so far. Aside from the Epic, which they said they're not going to test, which totally understand, I don't want to spoil it. So, yeah, that does bring this stream to a close. Once again, like it if you enjoyed it, and I will see you Saturday. But that's not till next time. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon for more of these LOTRO streams. So, take care everybody.